everyone, and turn the camera view around. Yeah, the other day I tried walking up along Main Street, Mount Hope, and through town doing the live stream. Didn't go so well, so I couldn't save it. Of course, I'm starting here in the creek bank. Wait a couple minutes for people to tune in, and I'll start talking a little bit about some different things. Well, actually, I think I'll do a walking tour, talk a little bit about the history and some memories growing up in this town. Mix in parts. I'll make it part of the video talking about the history of the area and part of the video about my memories here. I literally live 2 streets over from the street I grew up on. I gotta be careful though, because there's a lot of bees in those things. The Japanese knotweed, when those flowers bloom out, they attract a lot of bees. Any kind of bee is gonna be in there. That tree, I think, is reached the end of its life. It's been that way for a few years now, so past ain't fell yet. Kilsyth Free World Baptist. I was a member there for a while, and I'm going back to Cranberry, although I still visit Kilsyth from time to time. It's a good church. Nothing against it. Although me trying to explain to people that Lord's lead me back to Cranberry, and me trying to do video, somehow so much confusion there and misunderstanding. I ain't gonna get the details, I'm gonna leave that one alone. I think people misunderstood what I was saying. Make a long story short. Yep, I'm gonna come over to this bridge. Now this bridge is scheduled to be removed and replaced soon. I can't tell you how soon. I'm not gonna go down in there though, because I feel like falling in the creek. Old Stone Arch Bridge, and that wall goes a little ways back, by the way. I think it goes as far back as this building over here, apparently. I just figured out recently in the past year or two, where you can't see the building, but it's behind the trees over there. And I'm kind of surprised that wall goes that far back. Well, there's a few gaps in it where it's falling apart. But still, it's kind of cool that wall is there. Well, good evening, everyone. Doing good so far. Went to Thurman today, filmed some trains. Well, I only filmed one train. The only train came through was the grain train. So I didn't get to do my live stream in Thurman like I planned. The signals were red both ways. I walked down along a couple of rail trails, filming a couple of rail trails. Then I found out the train's coming. I managed to make it back in time to get on video, but did not set for the live stream. Oh well. Some more reason I decided to do a live stream here. Yeah, Governor Creek ain't running very low. Even though it ain't rained much the past 2 or 3 weeks. Everybody's grass is still growing good, I know that. Because it's still, me and Brian still mowing and weed eating it practically every day. Although we don't get some good rain soon, I don't know, the grass may stop growing. Well, right now I'm just out walking along the creek bank here and some streets here in town doing a live stream. Anyway, it's looking cloud. Figure I'll walk from here to the railroad crossing. Then after that, I'll probably wrap up the live stream and, well, probably head back towards my house, work on a few videos I filmed. I still got more videos from my Appalachian Trail trip going up, which I'm kind of glad, because the next 3 or 4 days I'm not going to have time to get out and film much. Of course, what I filmed the past 2 days, yesterday and today, except for a few YouTube clips, I'll probably make YouTube shorts. I'll probably just put the videos, put those for September, so I have videos uploaded in September. Okay. Yeah, good laugh. Yeah. Okay. Same person's been sitting there selling produce here every day for a week. I wonder how good it did. I had to ask him that time I talked to him because I'm wondering if he sold a lot or didn't sell a lot. The outdoor fitness equipment. Oh, by the way, this was the part of the Waldo Railway. There was 2 pairs of tracks here back in the day, way before this stretch pulled up before my time. I came across old photos. It's just a train passing saying, technically Waldo Railway came from started in Glenzine. Well, actually, it might have started in Thurman and came all the way up through here, off across the bridge over the river there. Of course, it was a single track line, but there was a train passing siding here. I remember the old photos. Oh, look, steps where they go. Why they go up? Oh, by the way, September 19th and 20th is the Mount Hope Jubilee. I'm going to point that out in case anybody's local to the area and wants to come and visit for the Mount Hope Jubilee. It's the 19th or 20th of September. Old fountain. By the way, when I was growing up, you could still turn the water on here because there was a meter box somewhere in here and the shut-off valve. So I remember me and my brother figured it out one time, and we got in a little bit of trouble for messing around when we were kids. Of course, the cities removed that completely and disconnected it when they done the block walk here, put up the historical signs. Well, not in the forest right now. That's walking through Mount Hope. That bus going by in the 4-wheels and side-by-sides. Oh, by the way, the historical markers. Come on, that's annoying. Oh well, those things are fun to ride. So I can't say much about that. Because if you follow me on YouTube, I got at least 3 different video clips. One from Mount Hope to Thurman, one along Berry Mountain Road, one in the neighborhood where my mom and dad live, on the side-by-side. Well, actually, that one was a dune buggy, but I still in the video. Mount Hope, West Virginia. Right now, where the Mount Hope Jubilee is coming up, all the historical markers ain't here anymore. Well, after the Jubilee, the historical markers will be put back up. Well, they're not historical markers, they're historical banners, I mean. Just banners that each one talks a little bit about the history of Mount Hope, so I'm calling them by the wrong name. Nope, not in the forest anymore. I was earlier today when I was hiking around on the trails near Thurman. In fact, the Arbuckle Connector Trail, which you'll probably see that video the first week in September, is a lot like the Appalachian Trail. You got switchbacks and a steep climb that connect you to the 2 different rail trails. And it's not an easy climb either. But it's a short climb compared to some of the climbs I've done on my section like the Appalachian Trail. I have no idea who that was, but they just beat. Yeah, that house is scheduled for demolition. I'm wanting to get a few more house demolition videos. That one I wanted to film down on the far end of town. Make a long story short, it got demolished one day during a heavy rainstorm. I wasn't able to film it because of the storm. But I'm wondering what they're going to do with this place. There's supposed to be something coming up here they call Harris Discovery Center. I don't know when they're going to get it in. Eventually they'll get it open, but there's been a lot going on and I haven't heard much lately. So I can't say when they're going to open it. I hope soon though. They still got a lot of work to do to get it ready. Oh, fun fact though, the Mount Hope Christian Church, the original church was a wooden structure that survived the fire in 1910. In 1910 there was a fire that destroyed the whole town. The church survived. Of course, a few years later, it burns down in a completely separate fire. course, that fire did not hit the town the second time. It's just a hallway. And then it was rebuilt as this brick building you see now, which is interesting. That stone building up there survived the fire in 1910 too. Ace Department Store. Ace Department Store opened up in 1933 and was going through the late 90s. I actually remember shopping there a few times with my mom and my grandma. School shopping a few times when I was really young in the early 90s. Became an antique store for many years. Now it's for sale. I think John once, I forget what he said, exact number. I know what he once was over 100,000. I can't remember the exact number. And you got the new fabric shop here, which used to be a dentist's office. The movie theater, I remember when the movie theater was here, because I think it's down in 1997. But I do remember watching movies here growing up. I can't remember which was the first. I remember watching a lot of movies there. I don't know which one's the first. And you got trees growing out here. Do some kind of photo shoot over there, so I won't be filming that spot. Got the laundry mat. Oh, got the laundry mat there. I remember that was a laundry mat for many years. And some of the old timers told me that was a military plus supply store. After World War II, they had a lot of used military stuff that sold out of there. And it went on through the 1960s, apparently. And this place is eventually will eventually be the new table. Well, I think they're going to move it from that building to this building. Mike's got a lot of work to do still, but he'll get there eventually. And the original Baker Mountain Hope, that stone building from 1897 to sometime in the 1970s, that was the first National Baker Mountain Hope. Of course, that was also Baker Mountain Hope, so you had two banks across the street from each other. First National Baker Mountain Hope and the Baker Mountain Hope, which is now PC, Pinnacle Community Bank. And there's where that was Johnson's drugstore when my mom was growing up. I remember that. And this was the radio station. Apparently Dr. Haas I did not point out his house in the video, but he had a doctor's office here for many years, way before my time, and then it became a radio station. Now it's the Mount Hope City Hall. I remember one day, a couple months ago, well, earlier this year, so it's probably been more than a couple months, Mayor Mike was doing something where he owns the restaurant here. He stepped outside and walked to the building next door. Paul comes in and goes, asked where Mike was, and I told him he just left. And she's like, what? And then I'm like, I think he's next door. He was still at the next building over, so she took off running out the door, and I'm at that point wall laughing because Polly never gets walked up. So we all had a good laugh out of that one. I think that's the only time all the years I knew I'd seen her walk a little bit walked up. So I have no idea what that was about, but it was comical. Yep. There's not much left there. Now, a few years ago, I wanted to buy this building, but the owner wouldn't sell. He wouldn't, no matter how many people called or texted him, he never responded. Of course, then he lost the building for back taxes. Now it's on the list of buildings to be demolished. Bonbons. Apparently, the Bonifacio family started the original Bonbons in Glen Xenia. There's a convenience store. I'm trying to remember all the history there. And then in the 1920s, they came to Mount Hope and was here through the early 2000s. I think it's late 2016 when they shut down. And I used to do a lot of shopping there. I remember I used to do a lot of shopping, with my grandma. Well, my grandma done a lot. When I first moved up home, I stopped there a lot too, because I lived on 2nd Street. Well, I meant to sun my face more in a split second. I hit the button and spun back around. There's A's department store. Well, no, A's department store's down there. John Sumate's building. The Freemasons had a lodge there on the top 2 floors for years. So it's the 3rd and 4th floor. I remember when the Princess Theater was open in the early 90s. I never did go in there to see any plays. Now I look back, I wish I would have. It would have been nice. Now, I don't know. I don't know the actors and actresses that done the plays there when I was a kid are still doing plays or not. I think I met a few of them when I was younger. Oh, here's something interesting. Mount Hope Middle School. Well, this was originally the Mount Hope YMCA back in the day from 1921 to, I'm not sure what year it became part of the gymnasium for the high school, but then the high school here became the middle school where the new high school was built, and that's why, where the new high school is, that's why I have my booth, and I sell stuff because it's now the schoolhouse market. Must be doing basketball practice in there. I got license plates that on that from that vehicle said I get my kicks on Route 66. Didn't point it out because, well, technically you shouldn't point out people's license plates, so therefore I just looked at it and walked away. I would love to do some videos on Route 66. Now there is a YouTube channel called The Daily Rule who actually follow Route 66 from California to Chicago where it ends. Of course, a lot of Route 66 ain't around anymore. Some of it is though. Yep. You know, growing up here, I used to come down here a lot to this